Good morning. It is Tuesday, November the 9th, and I'm driving on my way down to Lethbridge. I've actually been invited to a little mini conference today that I'm presenting at, and it's all about technology, and we're presenting to practicum students in their first teaching semester. And it's really kind of neat and exciting for me because 10 years ago at this same time is when I was in my first teaching practicum, my professional semester number 1 at the University of Lethbridge. So it's just really interesting to look back on the past 10 years and to see that now I'm going to be at the other side of the desk at the university for the very first time. So it's a pretty exciting opportunity. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm giving 2 different presentations today on the same topic. They're about 45 minutes each, and I think I know what I'm talking about. I think I know the tools I'm talking about and the way I'm going to present it, but I haven't really had the chance to practice or rehearse or anything. But 45 minutes will go by very, very quickly. I know that. So it's just it's going to be really interesting to see how keen and excited and nervous and terrified I am, as well as all of the brand new teachers that I'm going to be working with today. My presentation today is going to be on TeachAnyWare, which is the initiative that I've been involved with for the past 6 months, maybe a year. We've been working on this, and what it is showing teachers how to access and use and personalize some of the resources that were created by Alberta Education and the DLRB, the Distributed Learning Resources Branch. And so I've already worked on some of the work on that to put together information for teachers on how to teach online and how to customize those resources for their own online or blended classrooms. So I have done some of that work. Some of the material is actually material that I created. So not only will I be presenting on something that I'm quite familiar with, it's actually something I had my hand in creating. So I think this is a really good opportunity for me because I'm going to have a much larger role in TeachAnyWare over the course of this next year. I know I'm going to be involved in giving a presentation a couple times and also taking more of a leadership role around the project. So it's really important that I have a stronger understanding of the whole TeachAnyWare website and philosophy. So I think this is a really good chance for me to begin to explore what's there and what needs to be added, changed, and modified. This will be the first time giving a presentation to pre-service teachers like this, so I think that there's probably lots I can learn and try and get some feedback from them as well. Now, the TeachAnyWare website is divided into a number of different areas, and one of the key things I want to focus on is sort of the 3 workshop seminars, and typically those would be either a half day or a full day each. When Mark and I came down to Lethbridge, we presented the 3rd workshop as a full day session. I think the first 2 probably could have been done in a day as well, and I've got to condense all of that down to about half an hour. I know I've got 45 minutes, but when you add in questions and answers and people kind of shuffling in and out, realistically that's only about half an hour. So I've got to really condense down and pick out what I feel are the important points and what I think that these teachers might get the best use out of. So one of the things I want to focus on is the courses that are available, but I can give them the links to that. I don't have to really explore that in a lot of detail. The part that I think that needs probably the most face-to-face time is just around what it means to be an online teacher. Now, I know that one of the other presenters today will be giving a very similar session. I think Gary will be talking about what it means to teach in his online environment, but I think it's still worthwhile that I cover a lot of those things because I see this as my opportunity to dispel some of the myths that I know exist around online teaching and online learning, and knowing that in my position, in my job, in my school, in my board, we do things significantly different from what's happening elsewhere in the province. And I think in a lot of ways we have a lot of experience in online learning and online teaching, and I think we understand it in a way that some other boards don't. And so I want to make sure that I can get that message across to these teachers as well, because even if they're taking some of their courses using, different technologies, or even if they've been exposed to online learning before, it's not going to look the same as the way that we do it at CBE Learn. So I want to kind of use this as an opportunity to open their eyes to some of the possibilities and some of the potentials of online learning in that way. Now, I understand that that's not really the explicit or the implied goal or idea that I'm trying to get across in my presentation today, but I really do think that that can be part of it. I think that there's a strong enough focus in the TeachAnyWare material on online learning that I can focus on that and look at what I've determined are the 7 key areas to explore. And so much of that work came out of work from my colleagues, my predecessors, but I did amalgamate a lot of that information and put together sort of these 7 key ideas of what online learning and online teaching can and should look like. And so when I present it, I always look at how you can compare a traditional sort of environment to the online environment, and to recognize that it's really not all that different, and that it really shouldn't be all that different. There's still important factors around communication and assessment and time on task and meaningful activities and personalization and all those great things that these students are taught to do in their regular courses can be translated to the online environment. Now, even if they don't have exposure to an online environment, even if they've never seen what it means to teach online, I mean, these students are 10 years younger than me. And so if I'm here, where are they? So I'm not really worried about that. I'm not worried about them not really understanding the value and the need and the desire, but I want to help model and demonstrate to them the potential of what online learning can and should be. Now, it's kind of neat because I'm actually going to know quite a few of the presenters today. Travis is coming down to present, and so is Christina, and they're both from our master's class. Rachel was going to be coming down, but unfortunately for us, she had another engagement from her school that she had to be part of, and so she can't be coming down to Lethbridge today. I think that Ken's presenting, I think that Gary's presenting, and I also know that some of our profs are presenting. So it's going to be a really interesting kind of mix of teachers and administrators, professors and whatnot. So I think that it's really cool that they're doing this. I don't know the history of this technology seminar conference, and if it's something that they've offered every year, or if this is the first time or the last time offering it. I'm not sure about any of those details, but I'm glad that we were asked to come and participate in this. I think it's a really neat opportunity for us to get a little bit more exposure and a little bit more learning to present to a completely different audience. I've never presented to a university class before, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking knowing that teachers sometimes make the worst students, and sometimes they might ask some real tough, challenging questions, and they're real keen and real interested in these sorts of things. And I hope that I know what I'm doing good enough to be able to respond to them and help them, and maybe provide them with some resources and provide them with some materials that they could even start using this very first teaching semester when they're out doing their practicum. But I don't know, I'm excited. I think that it's a real interesting opportunity. So I just pulled in to Lethbridge here, and it's about 8:50, and I thought I'd be here about 20 minutes ago. That's what I was aiming for, but woke up just a little bit late and then took a little bit of time to go get gas and a drink and everything, so I didn't get the chance to stop at the 7-Eleven in Claresholm, which is probably the low light of my day so far, but that's really not the end of the world, because I think I made it here with enough time. We had to check in before 9:30, so I've got enough time to go and change out of my shirt and my hoodie into something a little bit nicer, go find my parking spot, my parking pass, get checked in, signed up, and go and present at my very first university class. Wish me luck.